by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
The government shutdown showdown is on. I'm in Adobe with more on how senators are set to pass a temporary fund bill, or else.
A Butte woman is recovering after being shot in this parking lot earlier this morning. I'll give you the latest on this continuing investigation coming up.
Good morning, 6:31 on this Friday. We'll have those stories in a moment. Meantime, our top story this morning is those pesky roads. You've been talking about it all week. Rain and then throw some snow on the top of it, makes slush, and that just makes driving really ridiculous.
You know, I will say that most of the snow was relatively limited, but we got a couple of inches of quick snow, and it makes for some slushy conditions. You were out this morning shooting this video.
Yes.
Yeah. Look at the berms of snow out there. That's actually not snow, it's slush. And that's really one of our major problems for the morning.
Good snowball snow, though.
Oh, yeah. It hurts.
Snowman snow is spectacular.
Don't let it set up, though. It turns to ice quickly, and that is a problem for us this morning, oddly enough. Ice impact, I'm putting closer to the dangerous side. Snow impact is moderate. I do expect to see these temperatures fall as we head throughout the day. We don't have a lot of low-level coverage on our radar. We do expect to see scattered snow showers redevelop through the afternoon. Expect to see hit-and-miss snow showers. I think the bulk of the snow is done. It doesn't bring down the fact that your morning drive is going to be dicey. We'll talk more about that, of course, coming up out on the Billion Auto Weather Patio in about 10 minutes.
Thank you so much, Matt. Now 6:32, a bitter fight erupted in the Senate as it now holds the power to avoid a governmental shutdown by midnight tonight. Late yesterday, the House passed a measure to provide the government funding for another month, which would give lawmakers more time to hammer out a final deal.
Now, though, it needs the Senate's approval, and that looks to be a much tougher path forward since there will be a needed bipartisan support. CBS's Hannah Doba has the latest.
The motion is adopted without objection. Motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
As soon as the House passed a short-term spending measure to avoid a government shutdown, it was on to the Senate, where a blame game quickly ensued. The Republicans were pointing fingers at Democratic demands on DACA, protection for immigrants brought here illegally as children.
My Democratic colleagues' demand on illegal immigration at the behest of their far-left base have crowded out all other important business, crowded it all out.
Democrats say the problem lies in a big way with the president's flip-flopping on key issues. Just a day earlier, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said he would not take up an immigration bill because it was still unclear what Mr. Trump wanted.
The leader is looking to deflect blame, but it just won't work. We all know what the problem is. It's complete disarray on the Republican side.
The Senate adjourned last night and will reconvene this morning. They have until midnight to hammer out a deal to avoid a shutdown. Unlike in the House, though, Republicans in the Senate will need Democrats to pass the measure.
They need 60 votes in the United States Senate. They don't have 60 votes. And that means you have got to negotiate. They have not negotiated.
Also on the table, Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer has proposed a shorter stopgap measure. It would provide funding for just 4 or 5 days and serve as a hard final deadline. Hannah Doba, CBS News.
Now, an interesting note for us here in Southwest Montana: in the event of a shutdown, the Interior Department plans to keep national parks and other public lands accessible. It would, though, mean furloughs for some federal employees, including some civilian defense workers. Among those who would remain on duty, TSA agents and air traffic controllers.
Switching gears to the mining city, a woman was wounded in a shooting early Thursday morning in Butte. MTN's John Amy tells us where the police are in this ongoing investigation.
A 31-year-old Butte woman is recovering in the hospital after being shot while sitting in the back seat of a car parked in the lot next to McGruff Manning Park about 3:15 Thursday morning.
She and 2 males were in a vehicle. They had gone to the parking lot just north of the skate park at Continental and Shields and attempted to meet another couple of individuals.
According to police, a third car pulled into this parking lot, and the gunman jumped out and fired at least 2 rounds through the windshield of the victim's car, striking the female in the back seat. The drivers of the victim's car then transported the female to St. James Healthcare, where she was treated for her injury.
Our officer arrived at the hospital. She was able to give a description about what happened. I'm told that she did undergo surgery at St. James. I have not been updated on her condition at this point.
The woman suffered a single gunshot wound to the upper back, and police are still looking for the suspect Thursday evening, but don't believe the public is in any imminent danger.
I don't believe it's a random act. I think the persons who were involved are at least acquaintances with the persons involved.
The sheriff wouldn't speculate on a motive for the shooting as investigators continued to question potential eyewitnesses. In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
Now, John adds anyone with information on the shooting can contact Butte Police at 497-1120.
In other news this morning, a Gallatin County man is at the state hospital in Warm Springs after allegedly making threats against Montana's state capitol building. The entire incident played out over about a 24-hour period of time between Tuesday and Wednesday. And while police aren't saying a lot right now, they do say it was a credible threat.
It was a very scary situation Wednesday as police worked to apprehend a man that they say wanted to shoot up the building.
We got a call on, I guess it's Tuesday afternoon, from Bozeman Police Department saying that they had received information that a person was threatening to come to the Capitol.
Law enforcement sprang into action. Bozeman and Helena Police, Gallatin County Sheriff's Office, MHP, and county attorneys formulated a plan. By Wednesday, police were able to confirm the identity of the man and that he had left Belgrade, headed for Helena.
Highway Patrol is the one that actually made the stop out on Highway 12, just east of town. The person was headed to Helena. We received information just before that stop.
Meanwhile, extra officers were assigned to the Capitol Wednesday as a precautionary measure. Hagan says the goal was to never let the man enter the city.
We wanted to get the person stopped before they entered Helena. If it ends up being something where it becomes dangerous, we'd much rather have it happen on the highway than in the city because there's a lot less population.
Helena police say the man was initially taken to St. Peter's Health for a mental health evaluation, and after working with the Lewis and Clark and Gallatin County attorneys' offices, a decision was made to turn the man over to the Montana State Hospital at Warm Springs. Police haven't said who the man is and won't say whether he had any weapons when he was taken into custody. While they have some ideas about his motivations, they won't talk about that either. Police say state officials were made aware of the threats, but some lawmakers on Thursday appeared to have no idea about the alleged threats.
The news to me that there was a really dangerous situation is just that. It's news to me. What makes me really happy is that law enforcement was able to apprehend the person, take care of the situation, and we here at the Capitol were kept safe.
Other Capitol workers echoed that sentiment, with some saying they didn't need to know about the threat as long as it was taken care of by police. Jacob Fuhrer, MTN News, Helena.
Now, no word yet on what charges the man may face. We'll be following this story closely, and we will keep you updated online and on air.
And here's an update for you about the missing bison from the Stevens Creek facility outside of Yellowstone National Park. Park Services reported that some of the 52 bison that were released from this facility have been located. Park staff say they will continue to monitor movements of the bison and attempt to capture any more bison that return to Stevens Creek. The release of the bison is being investigated, and investigators have confirmed that the bison were released intentionally and the government property was damaged. Anyone with information on this incident is being asked to contact Yellowstone National Park. There is information listed on our websites.
And the size of Montana's expanded Medicaid program continues to grow, and state officials said Thursday it's also helping people find employment. At a legislative committee meeting Thursday in Helena, state health officials said Medicaid expansion is now covering 91,500 low-income Montanans. That's 9% of the state's entire population. It's also more than twice the number of people that the Bullock administration estimated would be covered at this point in the program. Now, expanded Medicaid provides health coverage to low-income adults, with federal funds covering the most of the cost. Now, also Thursday, state labor officials said they've contacted 21,000 people in the program to offer job training assistance. One of them is Amanda Childers of Thompson Falls. She told the committee Thursday that the program not only helped cover her family's medical costs, but also helped prepare her for a job.
I'm a single mom of 2, and so the WorkLink program has helped me to get on my feet. It's opened doors to go down a career path in the medical field to better support myself and my kids. And without that program, I don't think I'd be where I'm at today.
Now, Childers said she works as a caregiver in an assisted living home and is also going to school part-time in Missoula. So good news coming out of that as well.
That's great.
Helping her family out in 2 ways.
That's great.
Absolutely true.
Do you have some fun video for us?
No.
No other fun video at this time?
No, not. I'll find something for sure.
Okay, well then I guess we'll take a break.
Okay then.
Stay with us. Coming up on Montana This Morning, all those wild animals looking for a great workout out there, look no further. The latest trend to hit the gym circuit might have you wagging your tail.
And if you look closely at the video, you won't see me. In the meantime, crawling like a crab, but first here's Nora O'Donnell with a look at what's ahead at 7 on CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead here on CBS This Morning, we're on Capitol Hill with the last-minute efforts to avert a government shutdown. Let's talk with Republican Senator Cory Gardner and Washington Post congressional reporter Ed O'Keefe. And author James Patterson here in Studio 57 with a preview of his 48 Hours piece on former Patriot star Aaron Hernandez. We'll see you right at 7.